My guest this week is one member of the band Ragweed.
It's just the one member.
Where are the other two guys?
So the other two guys, as far as I'm aware, are still in the south. I'm up north right now.
Oh, okay.
And just visiting the folks. I was like, you know what? Who's the important member here? Me.
It's all about the front man.
Exactly. So, you know, it's not like anyone cares what a drummer has to say. So that is just a joke.
Yes,
right?
it's a running gag on this show.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
so, you know.
They're either not present for the interview or they're always late, I find.
Yeah, the one guy that should be on time, right? The one guy that should be on time.
Some would say secretly the most important member, but I don't know. I won't go there.
I would definitely. I was a drummer before I was a frontman, and I would always say, your rhythm section is what props you up. I mean, fuck, I'd be nothing without those guys, but. They're not here, so I wouldn't. So I don't need to tell them
that. They'll just find out by listening to this. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
So, would you obviously like to introduce those guys, even though they're not here, and yourself?
Of course. So the guys that aren't here is Tio on drums. He's a new member, and he is kicking ass so far, doing very well. Reg is bass and backing vocals and plays the 4-string like no one else I know. And you have the misfortune of listening to me, the front man, who thinks he has something to say, like everything else. Like everybody else right now who's at BIM or any other arts college.
So can you describe Ragweed in just 3 words?
I can do it in 2.
Yeah, go for it.
I would say heavy pop. What would be my 2 if I had to choose 3? Then I would probably outsider is 1 word, so heavy outsider pop for 3 words would be my 3rd.
Interesting.
In there.
I wouldn't have gone for pop, but I guess.
well, this is the good thing about discussing with people, because you're the witness to it.
Yeah.
So I could be like, oh, I think it's this, and you're like, yeah. Really not. What would you have gone for out of interest?
See,
you don't have to be flattering, by the way. This is a safe space here. This is your podcast.
I want to say this, and hopefully you take this as a compliment. Ruben-esque.
Oh God, yeah. No, I really take that as a compliment. I really do.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I really do.
Yeah.
Well, the tour that we just finished when we went up to Scotland, someone said that we reminded them of 80s Matchbox Disaster.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember those guys now. It's like, I hope I'm not insulting you. It's like, mate, that's just one of the biggest compliments you could have paid me. As long as you don't say Nirvana, then I'm fine. Because who doesn't see an alt rock 3-piece and think, oh yeah, this reminds me of something that happened in the early 90s.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway. I digress.
Yeah, I mean, every 2-piece, they get the Royal Blood, they get the White Stripes. Every 3-piece gets Nirvana.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Every
9-piece gets Slipknot. Yeah.
Every female-fronted band gets Paramore. It's just one of those things. You can't escape it. Okay, so you guys have done your EP tour. You've just done a mini tour for your latest single. Do you want to give a shout out to just 3 bands that you played with? Well,
firstly, Goldblum, who obviously Cambridge representative, who we were just talking about before. Those guys would like to think good mates, and their new album is really, really good. And they're just always really fun to play with. The second, definitely would be Meglomatic, who were on the same label as us. They're 3-piece again, but they're much more like Mastodon and like Black Peaks kind of style metal.
Nice.
And we went on tour with them actually in May, and that was fantastic. Bunch of great lads. Played with them again up in Scotland when we were up there. They're really solid. A third, the only other band that I can really remember off the top of my head right now is this band called My Octopus Mind, which are a band from Bristol, but we played with them in Darwin, weirdly enough. But they're like fascinating. They have a double bass player, but not only does he play it with a bow at some points, but he also does the finger picking. but they're still like alt rock. They run everything and almost sort of like proggy as well. They're just a 3-piece too. It's all 3 pieces that I've chosen. But yeah, they're really fascinating. Really like math alt rock with some real interesting sections. Like definitely check them out. Those guys are cool.
Very good selection there. So yeah, let's talk about the band name. How did you guys come up with that? Does it have any meaning or?
Okay, so there's a couple. Basically, back when I first started this band, the girl that I was with at the time was a huge Babes in Toyland fan. And Babes in Toyland have a song called Ragweed. I don't think it's a particularly good song of theirs, but she just always thought that it was a good band name. So, and originally I didn't like it, but then I'm not going to say I did research into what it was, because how much information can you do on a name like Ragweed, really? I just found out what it was, and it just found out there was something that, you know, was is very hard to get rid of. It is very bad for allergic reactions, and is like quite coarse and rough. And so to me, it just summed up at that time the kind of punk music that I wanted to make was, you know, something that was very hard to get rid of, and was very bad for people's you know, skin and lungs, and yeah, it was just quite coarse and rough. So, and Babes in Toyland are a great band as well, so it just seemed to tick a lot of boxes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you ever get people like make that connection, like with Babes in Toyland?
Never.
Yeah, they are quite an obscure band. Like, not many people probably would know about them unless you're like heavily into like early 90s, like Sonic Youth, all that sort of grungy Seattle sound kind of stuff. So,
which is funny because I really don't kind of relate them to that at all. For me, they're much more on that sort of Riot Girl side of things, but
yeah, they do kind of like obviously more strongly go that way as well. But
yeah, precisely. I mean, they're up there with Jesus Lizard for me, though, in that they are a scary band. And if you listen to like a Jesus Lizard album, like start to finish, and a Babes in Toyland album start to finish, it's scary, like real scary.
Yeah, I think I've only listened to one once a very long time ago.
Yeah, it makes you feel bad for being a guy, but like real bad. It's good though. I mean, they're great, and it's funny because they were really popular for a bit, like on MTV and everything. Anyway, sorry, I'm digressing again. Go on.
So let's talk about your brand new single, Bianca Please. Now, I think I remember you saying when I saw you guys live that this song might be about ex-girlfriends, that type of vibe.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I remembered. Let's talk about the music video first.
Sure.
It's quite an interesting location. Like, where was that filmed?
So that was done in a bar in Brighton called the Black Dove, which, if anyone's ever in Brighton looking for a drink, that is a fantastic place to go. So that is just sort of like the overspill room downstairs in the basement. I forget quite how the idea came about, but basically the guy who shot it, it's called Sam Morris. I think it's Avocado Baby Media, is the chap who, well, is his name, brand name. He's a good friend of mine. He did our single video before that, the Silver Spoon one, and he was just someone that we really wanted to work with again. He and I just sat and listened to the song. I said I had this idea for the location in mind, Black Dove, and I just wanted it to be a performance video because our last one with him didn't even have it in it. And so we just sat and listened to it and just came up with the idea of it being this solitary, potentially just like, inside your own, it's inside this guy, aka me. So it's in his head.
Yeah.
Sort of this, so the room represents his mind, what he's going through. And so, just nothing that everyone's seen it before, but it's just fun to do. And it's always fun to wear a suit.
So let's talk about the quote that appears at the beginning of the video.
Okay. This was so that was Sam's choice.
Yeah.
He sent me the first edit, and it had that on it, and And I literally stopped the video and called him up straight away and was like, "Yeah, Sam, what's that?" And he was like, "Oh, that's just my favourite poet and one of my favourite writers, and I think that it just really fits the whole like topic very well." So it's nothing to do with me. That is purely Sam. I can't even remember who it is. I can't remember what the quote is, apart from something about someone being driven out onto the streets. It's terrible, but I haven't actually read anything of his since it. Yeah, so it's bad, but I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of cool. Like I'd not really seen that before, and I was like, okay, maybe these are lyrics. But then I saw like the guy's name in the corner, so I was like, oh, okay, it's a quote.
Oh, cool.
And
well, I'm glad you liked it.
I just thought it was kind of different, and obviously I kind of like did see it relate to the song as well. It kind of went with the whole theme of the video, with the setting, because that sort of room that you're in, it's very like, it's not like a modern room, is it? There's lots sort of like antique, vintage
modern thing. Yeah. You know?
Lots of old school furniture in there, and I think there's like a rug on the wall or something, isn't there?
It's weird. It's weird. That stage is tiny as well, man. I mean, I really wanted to. I think that was the first reason why we chose that location and why I was so eager to have that, is because the stage in there is tiny. Like when I stand on it, so I like about 6'2", and when I stand on it, I'm almost like touching the ceiling. Like we made that was part of the joke in it, with me standing on the drum kit.
Yeah,
it's like, because I just, it literally, I'm crammed in. I just liked the idea of it just being so claustrophobic like that.
But yeah, definitely go check out the music video. It's really awesome. Obviously, great song as well. So let's play it on the podcast now. Would you like to introduce it for us?
Okay, so this is Bianca Please by Ragweed. Hope you all enjoy it.
Still awake, and how my mind is filled with you. Can't contain the joy I feel. This is new. Silence keeps us safe, but not without its price. Never mind the hardship or how we survive. Last thought in my head these days. All the stars are out and now heaven cascades. Small tokens can't hold a candle to your charm. I would murder the world to keep you safe from harm.
So earlier this year, you released an EP called Breathing Holes. Where did you guys record that?
So that was recorded at Brighton Electric Studios, funnily enough in Brighton. That was with Jag the Sultan, who is the former lead guitarist in Ghost of a Thousand. Don't know if...
Oh yeah, I do remember that name.
Someone's going to hate me for saying this, but they were like the good version of the Gallows.
Oh yes, yes, of course they were. Yes, I think I've seen them. I think I saw them at a Play with Poison the Well or something.
I think so. Yeah, they did. I mean, man, they toured around a lot. They toured a lot with Anti-Flag.
Yeah, I swear I've seen them before. It was either at a gig or it was at Download or something.
But yeah, I don't know if they played. They did play Reading and Leeds a couple of times. But yeah, Jag's a good friend, great guy. He has a really sort of like quite hands-on approach to recording, and a very disciplined way of doing that. I was very eager to put us through. It's like, you know, you have to know your parts inside out, backwards, and you know, just like nobody's business. And he's so disciplined on everything, and is a very hands-on producer. So if chorus isn't working, then he's just going to get involved and be like, okay, this chorus is no good. You know, you need to rewrite it. You need to structure the song. You need to do this instead. You need to do that. Which sounds quite harsh, and it is, but it's definitely a way of working that I was very eager for us to do, because...
Yeah, I think that gets the best out of bands when producers are like that, I think.
Yeah, completely. And I mean, I can't... This is the only way I can really describe it, is that when a band is going to record something, that's their voyage, that's their mission somewhere. So you go into the studio, which is your spaceship that you're going to go to on this mission in. You need to have the captain that's best for that mission. So if your mission is to seek and destroy or something, you need the captain who's going to be best at doing that. If is a mission of discovery, then you need the best captain for that. And if you need a captain that is just going to get you in your place and make sure that, by God, you do a good job, sir, and all that. And Jag was, for us, that guy. So we went with him for that, and it was definitely an experience. We've never recorded anything in quite that way before. And in a lot of ways, I don't think we were ready. but it was real good. It was real good. I have no regrets about it. I'm very happy with that EP.
Let's do a track commentary now. A breakdown of each track from track one.
So Can't See Me then. The title of this song came around from when we were on tour and we were watching the news, I think it was, and they were talking about Cansema as a treatment for skin cancer. It's also called black matter. It doesn't actually cure skin cancer, it actually just makes it worse. If anything, it just sort of like makes your skin come out in boils.
Right.
And I'd written this song. We needed a title for this song. And I'd written this song about my ex, and I was like, that's the perfect title for it. But in terms of a song, it was a bit more heavier of an approach than we were used to writing. Reg and I wrote it together. We wrote the chorus together, and Reg wrote the whole riff out at the end, the 4/5 bit. And yeah, it's still one of our favorites to play live. I think it's one of my favorite songs. It was an interesting choice of an opener, but we decided to open with that one just because we thought it was more reminiscent of the heavier, groovier side of Silver Spoon that had come before it. So it was like, you know, we go in with that style and then we ease out of it throughout the EP.
Track 2, Backbiter.
So Backbiter was originally where it was supposed to start.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Because the original plan was to just have a 4-track EP, but our label was saying that it should be 5 because it's got a bit more weight to it. So we were like, well, Cansema was supposed to be a single, but I guess it could go on there. But yeah, so Backbiter was meant to be the original starter. That was meant to be the original, just straight in with a punchy, catchy, swung tune. Which for some reason, whenever we play it, I always end up doing a bit of a Billy Joe impression, which is weird because it doesn't sound like a Green Day song, but I feel like Billy Joe when I'm playing it. It's really weird. This song is just a great one to play live. I'm happy with it. It's lyrically, there's not that much in there. It's is very much an existentialist crisis in terms of lyrically. I'd go in for quite a lot of philosophy and especially existentialism, and the whispering that was all done in it is all quotes from the philosopher Kierkegaard. It's all quotes from his work.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's like the only one I remember now is life has to be lived forwards, but like replayed backwards to understand. I forget. I forget now. It's so long ago, but this is ancient history for me now. But that's the story of Backbiter. There isn't that much to that song, to be honest.
Okay, track 3.
So I thought this through. There's even less to this one. No. This was again going back to the more sort of Silver Spoon kind of style stuff, where we just wanted to do something that grooves. Just has that kind of. When you listen to a song and you pull the riff face.
That riff face.
Obviously the podcast audience can't see it, but there were some big riff faces.
Yeah, they know what the riff face is.
Oh yeah. So we just wanted, when you pull the riff face, you just get that slow nod. Like that's going to be sort of like R1 for this. Originally, the song was going to be about. This is how bad my memory is. I forgot what it was going to be about, but I changed all the lyrics last minute, and it was very much about the song. So that's why the chorus is, "Don't you wish you'd thought this one through?" Because I hadn't given that much thought to the lyrical content of this one.
That's brilliant.
There was a moment when we didn't know if this one was going to be on the EP, because there was the discussion like, this is kind of like the black sheep of it, or like the weak one. So we don't know if this is going to go on it. So we ended up spending more time on the others, but then we just went on it just because we all liked it, essentially.
Track 4, Down the Drain.
So this was probably the most fun to record. And I think this was this is the only track on the album that all 3 band members kind of wrote like in the same room. I came up with the basic idea, which I sort of do for all the songs. But the original idea that I had come up with was a bit too pop punk. It didn't really sound like us. Like it sounded a bit too happy.
Too Green Day.
Yeah. It was a bit, going from C to G to D to G kind of chord progression. It didn't sound like us. So Reg was all like, no, we got to change it. We need to have this semitone change in here, and let's do this. And then when we got into doing these chord changes, then it was like, okay, well now it should do this rather than this, and let's do this and that. And then obviously Jag got his hands in and was like, make it this, make it that. So it was very, very fun. I have a weird relationship with the lyrics of this song, in that there was a time back when the drummer who was with us, who is no longer with us, he came over to my house. He was staying over that night, and he was talking about like my lyrics in general, and was saying that I need to make them more relatable, because the people don't know what I'm talking about. And I was like, well, that's kind of my style, man. He's like, well, for this one, you're not going to do that. And he was basically, and then I don't know how it came up, but the subject came up that he wanted me to write a song about not being able to get it up because too many drugs. I kid you not.
Because that's relatable.
Because that's relatable, apparently. And so I was like, okay. And so we did this draft of lyrics this night, like really drunkenly. And I looked at them the next morning. It's like, this is terrible. And I ran them past a few people, and they were like, you can't record this. This is just dribble. I know, right? I know. So in order not to hurt his feelings at the time, I did sort of like a re-edit of them.
Oh, okay.
Which was sort of like my sort of, okay, this is mine. And he still didn't end up liking them. So I should have just redone them all together. But so in terms of the lyrics for this song, it's a very weird subject matter, because it means that and it doesn't mean that. It's like me trying not to hurt someone's feelings. It's funny, but it is a very fun song to play, and the guys did a great job of the backing vocals on it as well. So I think it's probably the best track for backing vocals on the EP.
Yeah, I'd say for me personally, listening to this EP, it's the one that stuck out to me the most.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, I think it's a great track.
Okay, thank you.
All right, track 5.
So Up and Under was our first single on Milky Bomb Records. It was a double A side with Rustbox. The original recording of it never had sort of like the energy of how we do it live, or how the song had even evolved since then. And it just always seemed to be our most popular song live, so we thought, oh, what the hell, we'll re-record it. We had a great time with this one, like a really good time. We got a few samples in this one, actually, which are also known as producer solos.
Okay.
So I forget where the first sample is, but it's no, actually there's there's only the one sample, but then we cut away to like the weird drum room mics for one part of it. Yeah. Actually,
they're awesome.
I really do
More people should do those, I think.
Yeah, I know, right? Corridor mics, people.
Yeah.
Corridor mics. That's how you make a drum kit sound big.
Yeah, or put the mics in the kitchen and record in your bedroom. Like you can't beat that sound.
No, you definitely.
Or the amp facing down on the floor.
Yeah. Oh God. And actually, that's why I should have done a shout out before. But Jack McNally, who he's a singer-songwriter. We played with him in Manchester, and he recorded his EP recently. But when he was doing the vocal mic, they put the vocal mic on the floor with a pint glass over it, and then he sung his vocals to that, and it sounded amazing. It wouldn't work for everybody, but for his music, it just sounded perfect. But yeah, just your kitchen thing reminded me of that. But yeah, Up and Under is very proud of that. I think it's a good opener. I think it could have not opener, sorry, and I think it could have been the opener on the EP. The sample was taken from. It's pointless me saying this stuff, man. I don't even remember. You should have done the interview with Reg, actually, now I think about it, because he probably remember all of this. It's basically taken from someone's phone conversation before a bomb was detonated, actually, quite tragically.
Wow.
Yeah, it's heavy, man. It's quite a controversial sample. But it's, I'm very proud. I think, actually, you know what? I'm glad that we went with it as a closer, because it's what we always close the set with.
Yeah.
And I think that not Backbiter, Down the Drain and Up and Under back together is a solid finish to an EP.
That song as well. That's where I got like the most Ruben vibes from, I'd say.
Oh, cool.
In the last song.
We're doing a lot more like that now. So hopefully you're.
I approve.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to let you choose one track off the EP to play on the podcast.
I would have to go with your favourite if you really liked Down. Well, you said Down the Drain caught your attention, so I'm just going to go with Down the Drain because I assume that that's one that you like the best. So you're the host, so I'm going to let.
Yeah, solid choice.
I'll get inside your face. Might be a mistake. Show me mine first, and then I'll show you yours. Never carry a knife. Don't even know why.
let's talk about your personal highlights for 2018, let's say, with the band.
First one would probably be the tour that we just did up in around the north of the country. It was just a short sort of 4-day thing because our tours are always broken up now. It was Manchester, Dunfermline, Darwin, and Glasgow. And it was one of the easiest and relaxed and best tours that we've done. Was just everyone was great. Bands were all fantastic, and Scotland's fantastic as well. You know, we spent 2 days up there, and just in the north as well. It's such a cliche to say that, you know, the further north you go, the more friendly people become. But it's I mean, Cambridge is technically north, right?
Yeah, north for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, well, north of Brighton, so yeah.
Yeah.
And north of London, so yeah.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been one of the highlights for me. It's just when you get older, you just love it when something works.
Yeah, when everything goes smoothly, like that is the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah, oh my God, the dishwasher did what it was supposed to. Oh my God, a Hoover that actually picks up the dog's hair.
Yeah.
But
it's little things like that that just get you through the day, seriously.
Yeah, and it's exactly that way with tours. Oh my God, a tour that was good.
Yeah.
So it did what it was supposed to do. So yeah, that's definitely one of the highlights. A lot of fun times, and our manager / label guy came up for a few dates with us, and it's started to hang out with him. He was a barrel of laughs, man. That's for some stuff outside of the podcast, though. Next time in Cambridge, I'll tell you about that.
Nice.
And then the second one, oh God, I think I would probably have to go back to the start of the year when we did our first gig with Glum, who were this other Brighton grunge band. I forget if they were releasing something, but it was our first show of the year, and it was our first show with our new drummer. And there was this reviewer for Brighton's Finest in the crowd, who was Jamie. He's a great guy, but I didn't know him at the time. Didn't even know he was there. And Brighton's Finest is sort of like, that's the blog around Brighton that if you can, that you want, really.
It's like the local distortion of Brighton.
Exactly. You couldn't put it better.
Yeah.
And he did this review for the whole night, and his review of us was I just remember one line from it, which was, if there's any fairness in the world, this band will be huge. I've had good reviews before. I had a lot of bad ones as well, but to have someone that I didn't even pay to show up, that I didn't even bribe, that I didn't even know at all, just show up and like our first gig of the year. So like for him to have such high praise for us, and even to have such high confidence in us, was just a great start to the year. I feel like I've been riding on that high all year, which I know sounds really cheesy to say, but for anyone who plays in a band knows it's an absolute roller coaster of emotions, and that's not even if you're a front man, when your emotions are all over the place anyway. There's good times and there's bad times, and when it's bad, you just wonder if it's all worth it. And if you have someone like that who believes in you or has written something nice about you, then it means a lot. You can apply that to anything. You don't need to be in a band. Anytime someone said something nice to you, or like praise you for something, if ever you're down like that, that's just what you have to remember.
Definitely.
And that, so it translates to everything.
Definitely. Just people need to be nicer to everyone and just give compliments when they should.
It's sad when it just comes down to that, doesn't it? It's like, it all boils down to is people just need to be nicer.
Yeah.
But that I think they will be mine too. Yeah.
Okay, so last question now. It's probably our most notorious question that we like to ask bands. Would you like to start a rumour about Ragweed?
So I, Tom from Ragweed, and Izzy from Black Honey can't ever be in the same room together because one time I got too drunk, tried it on with her, passed out in her bed, and accidentally wet it. so I can never be in the same room as her anymore, just through sheer embarrassment.
But that's a rumor. I mean, that may or may not be true. We'll never know.
Yeah, but that's a rumor.
Yeah.
And it's also a rumor that she calls me Todd as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll stick with that.
Yeah, you can stick with that. You can choose whether. I mean, it's a podcast, man. You might edit it in.
Oh, everything's staying in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I regret having that second glass of wine before this now.
Yeah, there's no filter on this podcast.
Good to know.
I think we're all done.
Fantastic. Well, Dan, thank you so much for having me on. It's been amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Would you like to plug all the band's social media before we wrap up?
So Ragweed is pretty easy to find on Facebook. You just type in Ragweed and we usually pop up. If not, it's facebook.com/Ragweed. Instagram is _Ragweed. Twitter, if anyone really uses Twitter that much anymore, is
you kind of have to, don't you, sometimes?
Actually, you know what? Forget Twitter. Just and find us on Spotify, find us on Google Play, YouTube as well. Bianca Please, the music video is on YouTube. Check us out, or don't. It's your life. Do what you want. But I would strongly recommend you to check us out because...
I mean, if you've got this far into the podcast, you should probably check them out.
That would be great if someone got this far at this point. I was like, yeah, you know what? Do what you want. They were like, actually, what? Yeah, I am going to do what I want. I'm turning off the podcast now.
I've had enough.
I've had it. No, just give us a whirl, please. please listen to us. Yeah, check out the EP we talked about. Check out the music video. It's all good stuff. Otherwise, Dan wouldn't put it on his podcast, right?
No, they would. No, right. They'd be nowhere near the podcast or Local Distortion at all.
Exactly.
So. Exactly. All right, so you can follow Local Distortion on all the social medias as well. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We do daily stuff on Instagram, which is a lot of fun. We have to kind of be on Twitter as well, so follow us on Twitter. Obviously, most importantly, subscribe to this YouTube channel, which you're currently listening to this podcast on. We have a Mixcloud music playlist podcast. We play an hour of unsigned bands every Wednesday, so you can follow that page. Get updated every week with brand new music. Obviously, we're going to put Ragweed on there now as well.
Hell yeah.
Add them to the mix. And because you've been a part of Local Distortion now, you get to go on our Spotify playlist. Our official playlist, because everyone has to have a Spotify playlist these days.
I know, right? It's how you get heard. It's how you even make a name for yourself.
Yeah, it's the in thing to do, isn't it? Make a Spotify playlist. And we also have t-shirts as well, which help support the channel because we do all this for free because we're nice people. And I'm sure Ragweed have merch as well, so buy the merch.
We do have merch. We do have merch, yes, but you can only get that by coming to our shows. So come to our next Cambridge show, whenever it may be. And next time I'm in Cambridge, I'm getting one of those Local Distortion t-shirts off you too.
Oh, thank you. All right. Cheers, Tom. It was.
Thank you so much, Dan.
It was a pleasure. Yeah, definitely. And we'll catch you next time. You come up north to Cambridge.
Yeah. Oh, we will. Don't you worry. Actually, we are in Ipswich on the 1st of December at the Smokehouse.
Yes.
And we're staying in Cambridge afterwards.
Oh, okay.
So if it's going to be a raucous one, I've got your number now.
Yes. Give me a call, and I'll come meet you guys down the pub. We'll just go corner house.
Yeah, the one in the morning. Dan, you've got to come out, Dan. It'll be great.
Yeah, do that, and I'll remember to tell my friend. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. How about you do that, Tom? Yeah, you do that. You see how far you get with that.
And Ragweed, check them out.
Sweet. Well, thank you, Local Distortion.